Heights, Florida 32656. And I'm going to start by saying ditto to Marjorie Coette, because that is what I want to say too. I urge you all to listen to us. We'll continue to be here. I today tried to go on your website and contact one of you too, and had a challenge with that. So please make yourselves available to us and listen to us. That's all that we ask.
Thank you.
Right, can we ask her what was the challenge? I mean, I want to know how we could get it done.
When I called the phone number that I called, I'm the secretary. That's what I do for a living. That's my life. And when I called, the number that I called didn't even identify itself as the Clay County School Board. I have no idea who I talked to.
Did you call the number that's listed on the website?
On the website.
Well, we don't have offices. You're calling our home numbers.
It wasn't a home number. I didn't get to one of you. I called. I can look it up and email you what the number was.
Yeah,
unless it was one of you. Today was about the agenda. I couldn't find it because I thought the date was the 19th, not the 15th. Did I speak to one of you? That was what my question was.
No.
And the person answered the question. She said, oh, the meeting's on the 15th. I mean, I really got a person who knew what they were talking about. But every time I've called, when I've attempted to call your office one time, I got the answer machine, and never does it say Clay County School Board. So check the answer machines that you have listed on the website to make sure they identify themselves as Clay County school entities. I mean, that's basic secretary skills. So, and I've talked to her many times. I don't know who Ms. Cheeseman is, but I know I've talked to her twice. And once I got the answer machine, and it doesn't say, this is, Clay County School Board, you've reached the right number. It says, you've reached maybe the number, leave a message. But check it.
Sure, we'll check on it. Thank you. Okay, and the next card is Ben Owens.
Actually, before I begin my comments, if you would, I'd like to assert myself with the privilege, according to the current policy, as 10 minutes as an opponent to whatever the 10-minute speaker remarks are. So currently he gets 10 minutes, and you guys get 10 minutes to ask questions. Then there's 10 minutes of an opponent. That's what the policy says.
The policy does say that, but you can't stand up here and take 3 minutes and then take 10 more.
I'm not trying to take 3 now. I wanted to take 10. I didn't know another way to ask that or to address that other than to fill out
Well, for future reference, call Mrs. Cheeseman and or email and do 14 days in advance.
Okay.
and say that she would like to do a, what do we call it, scheduled citizens request, and then that gives you 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll take 3 following.
Let me ask I'm going to get a consensus on the board. Y'all want him to have 3 minutes or 10 minutes?
I don't care how long you
Okay. If you want 10, go for 10, Mr. Owens. This is a lenient board tonight.
You guys are lenient. I wanted to go. I actually wanted to go after Mr. Studdard as an alternative to what Mr. Studdard has to say.
No, you can go next. You're right here to speak.
Right. I guess my question then is for clarification on that then, because in the policy it said 10 minutes shall be allotted to the speaker, 10 minutes for you guys to have questions, 10 minutes to, I believe the word's opponent. I don't feel like I'm an opponent, but
you're not an opponent, Mr.
I could explain that.
Right,
what it says is a person desiring to address the school board under citizen request shall file with the superintendent a written request. If you're going to rebut or come as an opponent to something that is a scheduled citizens request, you're also making a scheduled citizens request.
I have to wait till the agenda is published before I can know that I'm going to be an opponent to what someone has requested.
Well, that's a dilemma that we have.
But then you can fill out a green card like you did and address it right now.
I am, but I have to wait until he speaks to address what he's speaking.
Well, the problem is, Mr. Owen, I've been trying to repair this part of the policy, and you've published in the newspaper that you think I'm trying to limit people's right to speak when I'm actually trying to do the opposite. So,
Mr. Victor, I'm not here to personally attack you at all, and I don't know that has anything to do with what I'm asking for right now.
The agenda, the policy doesn't say what you say it says, and it doesn't really make any sense the way that it's written.
Mr.
You know,
Bittner,
what
I'm not
I said-
addressing you. I didn't ask you a question, to be honest. I'm talking to the board. And my question is to the board to say, can we do what we're trying to do now? That's a separate issue. I'll be happy to address with you outside this podium. But as we stand here now, I'm asking, can we do what we're doing here? If you'd like to defer and talk amongst yourselves, that's fine. I don't know that you have anything to say to me that we need to discuss here.
I don't have anything to say to you at all.
Thank you.
Okay.
The
Okay.
board policy is so
We have had a,
It's been a long meeting. Listen, I'm not trying to cause
We're not-
problems, guys. You know, I'm not trying
Mr.
to
Owens,
cause
would you
problems.
like to speak for 3 minutes?
I would after
Oh.
Mr. Studdard speaks.
Okay, but now you need to know this, Mr. Studdard has a green card in, so after you speak, he'll speak again.
That's fine.
Okay.
I have no problem with that. Again, guys, I'm not trying to cause a problem here.
I can understand that, okay? Then I'll let you speak after Mr. Studdard speaks.
Thank you very much. I
Okay,
appreciate it.
you'll have 3 minutes.
That's perfectly fine.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Studdard, it's your turn. Get the mic, get closer to the mic.
Is better?
Yeah, pull it over towards your mouth. There you go.
Okay.
That's good.
My name is James Studdard. I reside at 965 Sandpiper Lane, North Park, Florida. For the last 20 or so years, I've attended either in person or watched on TV every Clay County School Board meeting. This is the first time I felt the need to come forward and speak. We have one of the finest school districts to be found anywhere. Ask anybody you see why they chose Clay County to move to or to live in. One of the first things they'll say is because it has a great school system. The excellence of this school district didn't just happen. It happened because of the hard work and dedication of a lot of people. Everything has just about doubled in the last 20 years. We've grown from 20 to 40 schools. There's been a corresponding growth in all areas to a level of about 5,000 employees and 36,000 students. The school district is the biggest business in the county by far. Think about the planning and the execution it takes each day to have plans and facilities, dedicated teachers, administrators, buses, drivers, breakfast for many students, and lunch for most students. Sure, something unfortunate happens now and then when you have 41,000 individuals in schools and other district facilities. But overall, our schools are great, and I'm one of the biggest fans. Since late last year, or I should say, prior to late last year, school board meetings were pretty sparsely attended. Since the issue of the prayer at the flagpole has arisen, we started drawing large crowds to the school board meetings. It brought mostly people with genuine concerns, but it also brought a few people who have their own agendas and are here to cause disruption and tear down our school system to satisfy their own egos or means to an end. During the December board meeting, for instance, 14 people asked to make 10-minute presentations. An additional 33 people asked to have 3-minute presentations. 46 of those people came to the podium, stated their name and address as required by school board policy, and made their presentation. One speaker, Mr. Stanley Finning, came to the podium, gave his name, and when asked for his address, he said, and I quote, "The United States of America." The chairman, my wife of 47 years, offered to accept his address in writing if he wanted for it not to be announced to the audience. Mr. Finning refused and was asked by the chair to be seated. He was obviously angered by not being allowed to speak when he refused to give his address. Mr. Finning was the last of the 14 10-minute speakers, and the chair called a 10-minute recess at that point. During the recess, my wife and I were standing near the front of the room, to the left side over that area. Mr. Finney began walking toward us. The two officers who were standing nearby asked him to step aside. He began arguing with the officers. He did make a show of stepping aside, but then suddenly charged directly toward my wife and me, calling out her name in a loud, aggressive manner. Mrs. Studdard, Mrs. Studdard, I want to ask you. At that point, I stepped in front of him, put my arm out, and stopped his assault on my wife. He screamed out, "Don't touch me!" I responded, "Don't you effing touch me." That was a mistake on my part. I beg your pardon.
You didn't abbreviate it.
Thankfully, the officers responded quickly and prevented escalation of the situation. My wife, bless her heart, was scared to death, but she had to go right back up to the front and continue to chair the meeting with 33 more speakers to go, and the meeting lasted until about midnight. In a few days, Mr. Finney posted the video on his website called Keep On Clay Gov Honest and on YouTube. I invite all of you husbands to watch it and see how you would have responded to this kind of assault on your wife. Mr. Finney calls his video, "Big Old Bully, James Studdard drops F-bomb at school board meeting." Mr. Finney now refers to the board chairman as Mao C. Studdard, as in communist dictator Mao Zedong. Mr. Finney takes the podium at least 3 to 5 times each meeting now, with the help of Mr. Van Zandt, who always seems to have some questions or comments to keep Mr. Finney at the podium long after his 3 or 10 minute period is over. At the February meeting, Mr. Finney took the floor, said the following, and I quote, "You might want to look at citizens' conduct at meetings. I think it would be prudent to allow visitors to come to the room, not be threatened, harassed, intimidated, shoved, or cursed at." Mr. Van Zandt laughed out loud. Mr. Finney continued, "The public who participates in these meetings don't put their hands on people, curse at other people, intimidate other people, or threaten or bully." Mr. Van Zandt then spoke up saying, "Mr. Finney, I actually have a follow-up and a question before you go away. I apologize, I was not chuckling at you, I was chuckling about what you were saying about the bullying in page 5, paragraph 8. And I was going to let it go, but you know, I saw the YouTube video. I see Mr. Studdard here tonight, and he did put his hands on Mr. Finney and dropped the F-bomb, and that should be addressed." The chairman then asked Mr. Van Zandt if he would like to talk to the deputy who was standing there as a witness to who did what. Mr. Van Zandt responded, "I saw it with my own eyes." The chair responded, you are defaming my husband." Mr. Van Zandt responded, "We can address this in policy." Then he chimed in, "And at the ballot box, anybody want to join me in that?" At the break following this incident, Mr. Van Zandt came walking rapidly to where I was sitting, saying, "Jim, I apologize, I apologize." I replied that his apology was not accepted. An apology for an accusation such as Mr. Van Zandt made should be made where the accusation was made, on the board floor in front of the TV cameras. I attended Mr. Van Zandt's town hall meeting at Hibernia Baptist Church following the prayer workshop meeting. Mr. Van Zandt told the audience of some 45 people there that he had apologized to me both privately and publicly. I asked where and when the public apology was made. Mr. Van Zandt responded, "Well, I just did it." In closing, I'm not surprised at Stan Finney's conduct. In checking public records for his resume as to his education and qualifications to advise this board, about the only thing I could find is arrest reports for about 20 criminal incidents.
Liar. You're a liar.
I have the reports here.
You're a liar. I've never been arrested 20 times. You're a liar. You're defaming. You're going to defame me? Yes, ma'am. He's a liar.
Just give you a brief rundown. 3 drug arrests,
Liar.
trespassing on posted property, causing others' phone to ring repeatedly, battery, touch or strike, violation of injunction against domestic violence, disorderly conduct, breach of peace, that was a road rage incident, simple assault, threatened to kill neighbor when neighbor asked him to stop loudly revving his vehicle's engine at 12:15 a.m., trespass on private property, violation of probation, resist or obstruct officer, disorderly intoxication, battery, touch or strike. Then we get to the felony arrests. Aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, touch or strike, when he pulled a knife on another man. The other felony arrest was in Duval County a few years ago, and I'd like to read you the narrative by the arresting officer. The arresting officer wrote, "The suspect, Stanley Fitting, had an argument with his girlfriend. She slapped him, and he threw her down the stairs. He then took his shotgun and fired 4 shots in the air, and then pointed the shotgun at her and told her to leave or he would kill her." I submit that these 20 or so arrests are probably just the tip of the iceberg. And if he got away, if he got captured this many times, how many offenses might he have committed overall? In closing,
Officer, I want Mr. Fitting to sit down, and if he doesn't sit down, I would like for you to remove him from the room.
Yes, ma'am.
Just stay seated so we don't have to.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You may continue, Mr. Studdard.
Time's up.
doesn't seem to bother you.
Mr. Fitting, if you say another word, the officer will remove you from the room.
I am surprised at Mr. Van Zandt. I've known him to be a family man, a longtime school board member, a commissioned officer holding the rank of major in the Florida National Guard. His conduct toward me at the meeting was unacceptable, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Studdard. Okay, now we'll have Mr. Ben Lewis.
Liar. You're a liar.
Officer, would you please remove Mr. Fitting from the room? He's been warned.
Can you step on out here so you can talk? Yes, sir.
Give me a second, will you, all right?
Yes, sir.
I understand your predicament, all right? Gotta realize, though, she was kind of gracious with you as far as, you know, she gave you several warnings, all right? And
Yes, sir.